Thank you. First of all, I want to just begin with a very heartfelt thanks to all of you for coming tonight. I think this is the first time there's ever been something like an environmental symposium about Armenia's needs, and it's something that I've dreamt of having for so long, because the issues in Armenia with regard to the environment are very, very dire, and we need to get as many people educated and involved as we possibly can. So very quickly, I'd just like to give you an update on Armenia Tree Project. Many of you are very familiar with our work, and so what I'd like to do is just give you an update on what we accomplished last year and what we're planning to do for the coming year. In 2011, we continued to strengthen and integrate all aspects of our operations in Armenia by a closer integration between our tree planting, our environmental education, and community development initiatives. In our nurseries, we began propagating rare and endangered species of trees that are indigenous to Armenia, as well as heritage fruit trees. Nearly 60,000 trees were planted at 170 sites throughout Armenia, at public sites, in villages, and in family backyards. Our community tree planting program has planted and restored over 1.1 million trees all over Armenia and Artsakh, with a cumulative survival rate of 85% since 1994. That program was run for the last 15 years by Anahit Garibyan, who's standing at the back of the room, and she was our very first employee, and now she's here in the Los Angeles area helping to spread the good word about Armenia Tree Project here. Environmental education is now an integral component of all of our programming in Armenia. Over 1,100 guests received tours and lessons at our Ohanian Center at the Karen Nursery, and these included university students, school children, and teachers. And we trained 158 science teachers from 68 high schools on how to implement our new Plant an Idea, Plant a Tree environmental education curriculum. We're training them on how to implement this curriculum in the public schools, because there is a law in Armenia that mandates that no children can graduate from school without an education on the environment, but they had no means of doing that until we came along and provided them with the curriculum. So now we're trying to train all the science teachers to actually integrate it, and we're about 20% there. There's about 5,000 science teachers, so we've got 4,000 to go. Next year, we plan to train an additional 445 teachers. We also, this past year, completed renovations to a new building in the village of Margahovy, which is going to be called the Ohanian Center for Environmental Studies. And it's going to become a regional destination, not only for Armenia, but I'm hoping for all of the Caucasus, for students, for teachers, for professionals, to come and learn about various aspects of environmental preservation, about forestry, about sustainable forest management. And we're trying to bring Armenia onto the map in terms of being a regional leader in environmental education. We have a program called Building Bridges, which we began 2 years ago. And what we seek to do with that is to connect diasporan Armenian children with children in Armenia using environmental issues, environmental education. So we've distributed 4,000 copies of that curriculum to Armenian schools, one of which I went to visit this morning, the Ararat Charter School, right, in Van Nuys. Very, very enthusiastic. I spoke to a group of second graders and third graders and left there with such a big smile on my face. Kids love the environment, they love animals, they love trees, and it just got me so excited to keep doing the work that I'm doing. And I find that same kind of enthusiasm in Armenia. So what we're trying to do is, by using the internet, by using blogs, by using our website, get kids to be talking to each other and learning about each other. When we bring Armenian children from the US to Armenia, they're going to meet their pen pals at our nursery when they're taking environmental education lessons. So I came to the conclusion that we're not going to be able to solve Armenia's environmental problems, at least not in my lifetime, so I'm trying to prepare the next generation to carry the mantle very soon. Also, very quickly, our forestry program last year planted 187,000 seedlings up in the mountains of Lori Mars. And we helped to create 3 new community forests in the village of Teganik, Karanis, and Fiolatova. We purchased 63,000 of those seedlings from 300 families who grew them in our backyards, and we paid them to grow these trees. And these are families who, on the average, they make less than $350 a year. So the money that we were providing them doubled their income. And it's just, they were just so grateful for having that work with us. We also have a reforestation nursery in the village of Margahovy, where the new Ohanian Center is. And we're currently propagating pine, wild pear, apple, plum, mountain ash, and birch for planting in the next 3 to 4 years in our reforestation projects. We were able to maintain, by weeding, over 150,000 seedlings that we planted in previous years. When you plant seedlings in the forest, they're only about this big, and the grass grows really quickly, so if you don't get out there and weed around them, they quickly die. So it's not just about putting them in the ground and, you know, giving them a little cross, wish for the best. You have to actually go back and take care of them. So that's what we're doing. And we're actually doing that with help from the government of Norway, who gave us a grant to not only plant new forests, but also to take care of the ones that we've already planted. And as a result of doing that, we've actually met or exceeded international standards for survival rates for our new forests, and I'm very, very proud of that, because we spent a lot of time last year really working on quality control to enhance survival rates by really training and supervising people on proper growing techniques, how to lift trees, how to transport them, and how to plant them. Because at any stage in that process, when you're dealing with such a delicate little sapling, it can very easily die. So now I'm much happier with the quality of work that we're doing. So going forward, our plan is to work to cooperate, to collaborate, and to partner with as many other NGOs and government organizations as we possibly can. We have a vision of doing sustainable development in communities. Sustainable development involves social development, economic development, and environmental development. You cannot work on only one to the exclusion of the others. So we do the environmental part. We're going to get organizations to come in and do, like, the Eye Care Project, World Vision, to set up medical clinics, and we're going to work with other organizations who can come and do economic development in rural villages. So we have a pretty big view, a broad view of what we can do for Armenia. And with your help, we're going to keep going at it and never stop. Thank you very much.